Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV. Tonight's coverage of the SuperSpeedway DXT series here from Daytona International Speedway. You may notice something different about this version of Daytona International Speedway. It is not the current version that you see in real life. This is the old version, very bumpy, very tricky to navigate, and it should be a really good show here tonight with these guys. The development series here with the SuperSpeedway Cup. Joining me in the booth, as always, Corey Silva and Evan Black, and I expect nothing less from these guys but a good show.
Yeah, first time on PTRTV, we've been able to bring you the Daytona 2007 edition of the track, so I'm very curious to see how that does play out.
Yeah, this track's really bumpy. It's really hard to drive.
Qualifying underway here.
We're on the flag right now on the provisional pole. We'll see if he can hold that.
I know you guys have noticed in the past, we've obviously had, with the timed races that go on here with the DXT series, we have had some issues with the ticker. I am currently working on those as we speak, trying to make sure that we have no issues, so just bear with me for a minute or two. You may see a couple things flash up, but it is for the benefit of the broadcast, so again, just bear with me while I take care of that.
So with the 55% fuel in it, how long do you think we'll be able to go, Corey?
We're not good at calculating, Evan. You should know this by now.
It's still fun to ask him.
So, I think Corey got busy trying to adjust overlays, but let's bring you today's PTRTV starting lineup.
You guys can go with it. I will have the music going.
So, Rod Flag starting on pole with a 50.312. Rodney Wofford, who's outside. Gary Champion in the second row in third. Then Ricky Wall, Hayden Everly, Glenn Hedrick, Corey Smith, Dan Harrington, Mark Emery, and Lucas Kramer right at the top 10.
Starting in 11th is Brian C. Mullen. Michael DeGroat starting second. Then it's Nicholas Schmeg, Cole Borgstadt, Richard Reagan Jr., Sean McGarrick, I believe I pronounced that right, Mike Schultz, Caleb Weekly, J.R. Hagner, and Casey Drake rounding out the top 20.
And then we got TJ Buck in 21st. And then Seth D. Merchant, Spencer Pratt, Kyle Manger, Daniel Jackson, Travis Brown, Joseph Gorange, Joseph DeWisha, Chris Pizzini, Joe Picalella, Matt Spalding, Paul Simpson Payne, Kevin Spencer, Andrew Sanders, and then rounding out the field is John Amati in 35th.
That is your starting lineup for tonight here on Primetime Racing TV. These guys ready to roll here at the old Daytona International Speedway, the 2007 version of this track before it got repaved. Little bit of an interesting twist for these guys. This track, once again, very, very bumpy, and something that they're going to have to watch out for. A little bit of a tricky track here today for these guys. And even though it is a super speedway, these cars will be moving around quite a bit through the corners.
Yeah, this track, especially on the bottom, is really hard to hold your line. You hit a bump and it shoves you up to the second groove.
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe most of those bumps are right around that bottom line, and something you really have to watch out for here today. These guys roll off the grid, they'll get stacked up, doubled up, ready for the green flag here tonight. Rod Flag leading the field around, pacing right now. He'll take them to the green flag here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway. The Super Speedway Developmental Series here. Primetime Racing TV bringing you all the coverage for this series. Don't forget to like and subscribe here tonight, and the channel is looking for some sponsors here, and if you want to give us a shot, we'll make sure you get promoted real well. Looking to, you know, keep our equipment in maintenance, so anything helps, folks, and we do appreciate the guys that we have now. The field coming around to take the green flag here, waiting for the pace car to make the hard left turn out.
Green.
There it goes, green flag in the air tonight for the first time, Daytona International Speedway 2007. Rod Flag leads them across the start and finish line, and they're 2x2x2 pace car formation.
Pretty even start there on the front row, but the guy in the second lane, or the second row on the outside just did not get as good of a start as the guy on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. The inside seems to be good now, but the 18 makes the jump to the
All right,
inside.
man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Lap one of this race, turn one of this race. Caution flag on the speedway. And it looks like Andrew Sanders involved in the 09. The 01 involved. And the 72 also involved in that mess. Looks like it was started with the 01 machine. Looks like they were 3 wide back here, and the 52 machine came across his nose. 52 also involved, managed to get it straightened out. 01 turned it around back onto the racetrack, collected a couple other vehicles as well. A couple guys smart enough to come to a complete stop there. So caution is out on lap 1, turn 1 of this race, and Rod Flag will pace the field around once again.
Again, Corey is here, folks. Apologies for letting the guys do all the talking. I am working on the technical side. Unforeseen issues with a couple things, but one thing I do want to note is the ticker, which has been the topic of many conversation with being inaccurate during the race. That will be good this week. It is set 1 of 90. We are in a 90 lap race. We are, however, on a timer, so you will know how many laps there are at all times, and you also have the timer. So I am working on a couple small things now. You may or may not even notice, but I am here, so do not worry, in case anybody cared. One thing we do have available, however, for you this week is that the Wednesday night series that we do not cover here on PTR, they had a race on Wednesday at, I believe it was Talladega, wasn't
it? Yes, it was.
And we have a little bit of a recap video for you, so we'll bring that up for you right now.
Your words don't mean anything anymore.
Alright, so that was the recap of Wednesday night. Hope you enjoyed that clip.
And we are going to try to bring you those every week, folks. Spend my time doing that. So, hope everyone enjoyed, and a little extra entertainment under this caution flag.
And we do have the point standing as well as Evan Black. If you're ready to give those, I can bring those up for the folks.
Let me pull it back up. Okay, so the top 5 DXT drivers is Lucas Cram leading by 22 points over Kevin Spencer. And then John Amati, Ricky Wall, and David Warren is 5th in points. So that is the top 5.
And the one to go has been given right now, so Rod Flag will get ready to go for this next restart. Again, it was quite the large field here, about 35 drivers. 2 of them have pulled behind the wall, so still 33 trucks on track here at Daytona 2007 edition. 90 laps again on the books here. Well, on the books. 4 in the books, yeah, whatever makes sense there.
Something to do with books.
Yeah, I'm not good at books.
So once again, these guys will get stacked up, doubled up, ready for the restart once again after the brief caution they've had here. They're on lap 5, ready to take lap 5 on lap 6 at the time of the restart here. So Rod Flag leading the field around pace speed once again. Pace car getting ready to make the hard left turn down onto the safety of the Daytona International Speedway pit road.
Green flag,
Green flag is in the air. Rod Flag is on the gas. The outside row got a way better restart that time. Behind these guys all trying to form up.
Yeah, Champion got a really good start, and so did the guy right behind him. But there's a little bit of a gap back there to the 3rd car in that line.
2 by 2 by 2, no one gets a huge advantage going into turn number 1, now into turn number 2, down the back half of the racetrack. Now the field kind of splitting into 2 groups here. The first pack is a little bit wild, guys going below the yellow line, trying to avoid checkups. 2 by 2 by 2.
The outside lane is starting to get a bit of momentum down the back straightaway and into turn 3, but they're starting to drop back just a little bit.
Rod Flag and a row of his own out front now. The 7 machines got company on the outside. That is Gary Champion into the 18. Now the outside line starting to make a comeback here across the start finish.
Thing with Daytona 2007 you have to take note of, obviously as discussed, is the bumps. It takes really a lot of concentration and skill to keep your line and to not bumper hook through the bumps when you're going and weaving all over the place. Makes 3 wide rather difficult.
These guys using a little bit of patience right now, but a lot of bobbing and weaving going on down the back straightaway. The long Daytona International Speedway back straightaway here. Rod Flag trying to defend his position on the inside line. A little bit easier to do here with all these bumps. I think it's really hard to get the outside even with the inside with all these bumps. You can't really push.
And you really can't side draft in the corners because the bumps are so bad. If you get down close to someone, you have a high chance of getting into them and wrecking yourself.
Absolutely, these drivers trying to give plenty of room, as much room as they can. Now on lap 8 of this race. And drivers still a little bit all over the place through the center of the pack, but it seems pretty tame up front right now.
Again, double file formation through the majority of the field right now, which is to be expected, but I will give these guys credit. They are doing a really good job not side drafting too aggressively and giving space to get over the bumps.
So we focused on the first half of the pack. Now these guys are split into 2 groups. Leading the second pack is the 52 machine back here, doing a wonderful job. Oh, they're wrecking caution on the speed.
Not yet.
Not quite.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
I would have been really surprised if There wasn't a yellow thrown there.
See Kevin Spencer. Like, there's a white truck there. Can't quite see. Cole Borgstedt.
Like Cole Borgstedt involved.
There was almost a 3 wide. Cole Borgstedt kind of peaked what looked like he was going to go for a 3 wide, and the 96 kind of filled in the hole that was eventually going to close back in. Again, Cole, it looked like he went high trying to avoid, like trying to navigate over the bumps, but not where he was going to make a 3 wide attempt. And that...
Cole is really lucky he didn't get nailed there again. Minimal damage for that machine, thankfully. And it looks like most of these guys able to skim through that mess. So once again, these guys will be under the yellow flag here. Daytona International Speedway 2007 before the repave here.
Again, I don't have chat up. I do apologize for the technical issues. I will get them sorted. A couple flash screens and a couple other things, but...
All broadcasters have technical difficulties every once in a while, so we do apologize, and hopefully we'll have everything settle out.
Rod flag coming to pit lane this time by.
Looks like he's bringing most of the field with him if you guys are staying out.
So the 7 machine of Rodney Walford becomes your new race leader. Behind him is Gary Champion, then it's Dan Harrington, Travis Brown, and Sean McCarrick. Of course, that is the unofficial lineup for right now, waiting for timing loops to reset.
Yay, I fixed it. Sorry, got really excited. It was something that honestly nobody was going to notice except me. But on the top left of the screen it said test, and it wasn't supposed to say that, and I was panicking.
I noticed it.
So it's been fixed. Hallelujah.
What was it?
On our new fancy graphic on the top left of the screen, where it has information in our website, it just said test. And it was bothering me beyond belief because I'm a perfectionist. So I was trying to fix it behind the scenes, and that's why there was a couple little minor issues here and there, but I fixed it. So now I'm happy, and now the broadcast will go as normal.
Good job, Corey.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
I want an applause from everybody in the audience, and if I don't get it, it is what it is. Again, me and the tech producer, the Fox booth and NBC booth, they have about 25 people manning the cameras, watching all the screens, doing all this and that. I got one guy behind a computer trying to both do all this and talk to everyone in a way that is interesting. So it has its nights. Luckily, it's all set early in the show, so there it is. Mike Joy in chat, he cares. Mike Joy appreciates it. That's the best piece of motivation you can get.
That's been there for like 20 minutes. Corey.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been there for like 15 minutes.
It fit the conversation pretty well because I just saw it.
It's like the top 6 stayed out on the racetrack.
Yep, looks that way, and these guys, I'm sure, are expecting another yellow here. So I don't think they're going to be too concerned on fuel, but...
Did we ever get an actual guesstimate of what we expected fuel mileage to be?
I asked you, need to respond.
Oh.
I'm gonna
well, we've done a couple.
Guess around 20 to 22 laps, maybe.
We've done enough of these. You'd think by now we'd have a vague idea.
Yes, this is true. I'm not sure how often we really pay attention to fuel.
Because it, unfortunately, it hasn't really become a concern by any stretch. Broadcast on Wednesday night was actually very interesting with fuel mileage.
Yes, it was.
Till the very end, anyways.
The Hardline Racing League, obviously they always put on a good show, and that's our Wednesday night broadcast. Of course, we do not cover these guys on Wednesday, but you did see the highlight reel that I put together.
With my help.
Yes, Evan did. Evan recorded the clips. So let us know in the chat if you guys want to keep seeing that same style of highlight reel. Can mix it up a little bit if you'd like, but that is my style of editing, and that is what I'm best at.
You did a nice job, Brandon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do these guys once again stacked up, doubled up, ready for the restart here. A different front row than what we had before. Rodney Wofford on the inside. I believe that's Gary Champion on the outside.
Yes, it is. And the pace car will go through turns 3 and 4. We will get the green flag approaching lap number 13 here. And we'll see what we can do this time. Pace car about to enter the pit lane, and there it goes. And the green flag immediately in the air. On the loud pedal is Rodney Wofford in the 7. Not a lot of help from the 82 of Dan Harrington quite yet. The outside should have more momentum this time by.
Big shot from the 0-1 to the back bumper of the 18, heading down into turn number 1. The outside should have pretty good momentum, and the 18 now even with your leader in the 7 machine.
Starting to drop back just a little bit here in 1 and 2. We'll see if they can get a huge run on the backstretch.
Doesn't look like too huge of a run. Actually, I take my words back. Here comes Champion with the push from the 0-1 of Travis Brown. Champion will clear, but he will stay to the top, allow Brown to not lose his partner, and that will cost Champion the lead.
There's a little bit of bump drafting going on the back straightaway, but as you said, the outside line starting to lose its ground. Gary Champion starting to lose a little bit of ground to the outside, with that being a chain effect. The 7 machine on the low side, Rodney Wofford having help from the 82 machine now onto the inside line. The 82 being Dan Harrington.
Champion with a little bit of sniff of advantage entering turn 1. He loses that again with the radius on the outside, and they don't have the help to wind up the momentum there. But you can see a lot of shuffling and such throughout the pack here, which is kind of expected with the bumps of Daytona, but still kind of gets me nervous.
Coming down into turn number 3, one truck up on the outside wall. They all stack up behind him. 3
How did they not wreck?
J.R. Hager there in the 0-2. He was the one that kind of got loose and shoved in the middle. And speaking of him in the middle, a little bit of sniff of 3 wide, but the 2 of Ricky Wall backs out of it.
Awesome save by those guys, an awesome job avoiding what could have been complete carnage in the middle of the pack here. And back up front, Gary Champion looking to get something done on the high side. These guys 2 by 2 by 2, not quite pace car formation behind them, but this is allowing to the outside to try to make up some ground.
Well, and here we go. Someone's on the inside on the back straightaway right now. That is the 2 of Ricky Wall.
They're back on. They're good.
That was a tight call there, but a good bit of driving. Here comes Spencer Preet to the outside of him. Spencer Preet's already been involved in a wreck of sorts today. can see by the left side damage to him. But back up front, looks like the front pack has deteriorated a little bit. We're down to about maybe 12 or so trucks. And still the same formation up front, Champion and Brown versus Wofford and Harrington.
Outside getting a little bit of advantage in turn 1, and Champion does come down and block the inside. Even
someone get loose. The 50.
Good save.
Hayden Everly.
Down through the middle of the pack. Great save by that driver.
Hayden Everly gets the Primetime Wheelman of the Race award.
66 just got into. I don't know how he saved that.
On instant replay here, we watched that, and as you said, Evan, that was a bump draft middle of the turn by the 66 of John Amati. And bump drafting at Talladega works. Bump drafting over these bumps, not so much. But that spreads the front pack out even further. That puts us down to 9 drivers in the immediate front pack. And then we have TJ Buck, the man in the middle by himself. He'll fall to the second pack's clutches. But Gary Champion has found his way to the bottom now. He's left out Travis Brown to the top. Now Rod Flagg is out helping Brown in the 90 of Michael DeGroat up top there. You can see Brown with a tight side draft.
Almost contact there through the corner. And a little bit of bumping off the corner. Really loose gets the 88 machine. The inside line's gonna have to try to form up once again to the outside, right even with them across the stripe that time by. The 7 machine looking to take the lead on the outside here.
Yeah, Wofford switched lanes there, went back to the top now in front of Travis Brown. Gary Champion to the bottom, now working with Dan Harrington down there. Again, double file formation, and these guys, especially in the middle of the pack, it must be a little bit of frustration because you're kind of stuck right now.
Rodney Wofford is clear of the inside, but decided not to do anything with it. Now he tried to go down, but there was a car there. Gary Champion keeping that position.
Champion might have the edge to be able to make a move to block the top if he chooses. He did not choose to do so, and there goes the momentum from the 7 of Wofford. Here they come through the trial. I believe Wofford got it at the stripe, and they have a really good head of steam to 1. Is Wofford going to drop to the bottom?
2 by 2 by 2 right now. Wofford's got to be careful. He could get sucked into the center of the universe, as I like to say. The no man's land down through the center. The 0-1 almost decided to go right around, and I'm sure he would have brought the rest of the pack with him.
Now Wofford is clear. No, he no longer is. The bottom just surged. A lot of good driving, a lot of teamwork from the guys up top. They've had opportunities to clear and drop to the bottom, but they're choosing not to do so, and to help their drivers up top who have been helping them.
66 clipped the apron out of the exit of turn number 4, almost got up into the number 10 machine around Flagg. Very close call and very good driving by all these guys up front right now.
The tandem style push from the 0-1 of Brown onto Wofford. That's going to give Wofford the ability to clear. He will take the lead and drop to the bottom. Now Brown and Rod Flagg are going to try to wind that top up and give Brown an opportunity to lead. And
contact between Gary Champion and Rodney Wofford, almost a wreck down the back straightaway.
Yeah, don't go in below the yellow line there to avoid contact. That is legal. Passing is not, but evading a wreck is. Here comes Travis Brown to the bottom. Now Rod Flagg's going to be the guy up top.
Momentum was lost on the low side after that contact with 0-1 struck on the high side. Now he's going to be your new leader coming across the stripe.
Champion took a little bit of a look to the inside there, what was going to be below the yellow line, so he did pull back in there, but it's getting a little antsy on the bottom. Here comes Rodney Wofford to the bottom of Brown as Brown goes to the top to work with Rod Flagg.
Brown trying to pull a traffic break there, moving to the high side. That left to the inside to slip on in, and now the 7 machine trying to fight back once again.
All right, while we are double file up front, I do want to give a little bit of a status update to the next pack. The next pack is off of 2 right now. There's about 10 trucks, maybe 8 to 10 trucks there. They are 6 seconds and dropping off of this pack, just as a heads up, but we'll follow back to the front with the side-by-side. Wofford and Brown carrying on pace lap formation for the top 9.
The outside line losing a little bit of steam as they lose a truck to the inside. The 90 machine starting to fall back a little bit. He's going to try to catch up with the outside draft that they have. Into the 18, Gary Champion almost making contact with Rod Flag. Once again here, they got a lap truck coming up. They're going to have to take a 3 wide.
This is going to get tight. This is going to get hairy. The 99 of Schmeg takes it all the way to the top.
Outside wall. He keeps it straight.
Yeah, he's trying to get so high.
One truck almost around down the back straightaway. The inside's going to lose its momentum once again. That is the 82 machine.
They all lost their rhythm there as they had to evade Schmeg there. Schmeg did a good job. He sacrificed himself to get out of the way. But something, guys, we haven't talked about too often in our DXT races. We're 23 laps into a run now. Pit stops are going to be coming up pretty soon unless the caution comes out.
These guys doing an awesome job keeping the wheels under these trucks right now, and a couple of near wreck incidents here, but these guys really wheeling it and using everything they can to keep these things straight over these heavy bumps.
See a couple people already exiting the pits there on the inside, but your leaders are continuing to race on circuit right now. Wofford has a little bit of an edge. The top two are both clear of the outside line right now. Outside has lost formation and lost some trucks, but I don't think Flag is going to... Oh, here we go. Champion moves to the outside, gets an aggressive move, gets the run, and he'll pull side by side for the lead.
2x2x2 once again to the outside, trying to fight back for the lead. Gary Champion up there in the 18 machine gets Ronnie Wofford down there in the 7 machine, the 01 pushing the 18, the 82 trying to hang on to the back bumper of the 7. Champion's going to clear for the lead.
Champion blocking both ends of the highway there. He moved to the top to get the lead, and then once he clears, he goes straight back to the bottom. But Travis Brown's going to have the push from Rod Flag. Rod Flag's doing some excellent pushing to everyone who's in front of him. This is going to give Brown the edge through 1 and 2.
Coming out of turn number 2, down the back half of the racetrack. The 01 trying to fight for the lead now, and not too much longer. And I'm sure these guys are going to have to pit for a fuel. They're not too concerned about that right now. They're trying to get the best track position they can. Rod Flag heavy on the bumper to the 01.
You can see here from the camera here that the rest of the field is about the entire length of the back straightaway behind at this point. It's just right now your top, I believe, to be 11 up front here. 25 laps into the run, you're going to have to start making deals and calling your pit stops out so we don't have a pit stop wreck.
Yeah, but some people pitted the last stop, so that's only about 15 laps, but some people did stay out.
Yeah, right now, Evan, your top 9 are all 26 laps into this stint right now, so the second pack is mainly the guys who pitted.
Okay.
Per my fancy dancy graphics.
The outside line starting to lose its steam now. Only 3 trucks strong out there now. Rod Flag still doing the best he can to push the 01 back up front. They gain a little bit of momentum down to the back stretch, but they're probably going to lose it coming down into 3.
Again, top-notch driving by these leaders up here to race this aggressively at the tougher version of Daytona, the old-school version, and not have any incidents so far. Again, we are taking lap 26 here this time by Gary Champion with a lead with Rodney Wofford assisting him, Travis Brown, Rod Flag, and I believe that to be the 90 of Michael DeGroat working the top side.
One truck trying to catch up and possibly join to the high side here is a little bit lagging behind here, trying to keep this draft holding on. And,
Glenn Hedrick, that is.
Yeah, he's been hanging back there for about 10 laps.
I'd have to imagine that's intentional on his part.
Because he's not moving up, but he's not dropping back. He's been almost at that exact position for about 10 laps.
He's playing the edge of the draft where he's not going to lose the suck up, but enough that where something happens, he has room to evade. Good, safe strategy at this point. Very good call by his part, but he just has to be careful not to lose too much time.
These guys pushing through the trial with the 7, pushing the 18 heavy through the trial now. They got to be really careful of that. Those bumps through the trial can hurt you, but these guys doing an awesome job wheeling around the old Daytona International Speedway here tonight so far. The 01 trying to lead the high side still, and Rod Flag trying to push him, but nothing seems to be working from the outside right now. There's just not enough trucks.
Guys, we're at the old Daytona. We haven't covered this, and we're pretty long into a run. Being the old Daytona, are tires more meaningful here than perhaps regular Daytona or Talladega?
Yeah, absolutely. Daytona, the new Daytona, the repaved version of Daytona,
it hits pit stops.
As guys come into pit road, is less harsh on tires because it's really smooth.
Gary Champion missed the cone there, and the 52 of Sean McGarrick also missed the cone. Those may be penalties.
Heartbreaking so far for those guys. Gary Champion was up front of this pack. I don't know if he got a penalty or not. Let's find out.
And I'm not sure if Wofford made a pit road speed in the 7.
Watching Gary Champion right now. He Yeah, as we said, he just did not make that cone whatsoever.
A tricky pit road. The 7 leaves all by himself. That's not good at all. It looks like Gary Champion just now leaving.
And here comes Rod Flag up front. And are they going to pit him, Michael DeGroat? They will stay out yet another lap. So the top 5 drivers thus far will try to stretch it yet another lap around this Daytona International Speedway. Got to watch out in the trial, but DeGroat kind of got into the left rear flag there just a bit.
Man, caution
flag.
Caution is out.
J.R. Hager spun on the back straightaway. I believe there's somebody else with him there. So let's gonna see how that shakes out the strategy. It might actually work out for those who already pitted, but let's see what happened off turn 2 in that second pack.
The 20 machine got turned heavy contact the outside wall. Yeah, almost went up and over.
That was a right rear hook right there.
Yeah, the 0-2 then spins to the inside. Heavy contact with the outside wall. The 20 machine barrel rolled through the grass down the back straightaway.
So we await to catch up to the pace car, which don't know quite where it is right now, but let's just check the standings here, guys, because it all depends. It looks like Gary Champion and a couple of the other guys, the majority of which who already pitted, stayed on the lead lap. So this is going to give them the lead while everybody else pits. So that actually worked out quite well. There are tracks, mainly the plate tracks, Pocono being one of them, Indianapolis being another, where if there is a set of pit stops and you're close enough to the lead, by the time you exit the pits, you're still on the lead lap. So when a caution comes out like this, it actually works out in your benefit. So as we come off turn 4 here, we will await for the majority of the lead pack, minus a couple who already pitted, to enter pit lane. Got Rod Flag, DeGroat, Amati, Travis Brown, DeBurchett, Kyle Mander, Preet. Everybody to the attention of their crews. And we await, looks like on the racetrack right now, your leader at the moment is Lucas Cram, and then Gary Champion is currently second. Actually, he is letting everybody past.
Possible penalty for that car.
Not quite sure, because he stayed out. I mean, did he already yield his... Did he get a penalty on the original pit stop?
I don't know.
I don't believe he did. But depending what kind of pit stop it cost, what kind of penalty it was, he may have had to serve it under green, but if he didn't get any... Actually, it looks like he is back up to speed, so maybe he just drifted back for momentarily, but... We will take this opportunity to go to our first official side-by-side commercial break of the day, so stay with us. We'll be back with you for the restart.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars. There's just something about dirt racing that's just, you can't get.
And we're back here on PTRTV for what will be the restart here on lap number 33, coming to lap 34. Had a caution flag in the middle of green flag stops. We saw Gary Champion and a couple others already pit, and everybody else stayed out and was able to pit under the yellow flag, so that does shake up the order a little bit. Rod Flag actually has the lead now, which... and Gary Champion is in 4th. I don't quite understand that, but we'll go with it. Gary Champion was in 2nd when we went to break.
Pace car getting ready to dive into the safety of the Daytona pit road here now. Rod Flag is going to lead these guys.
Green flag.
They're on the gas. Green flag in the air once again.
Yeah, the inside line. Oh, everybody really stacked up here. Looks like a couple people trying to go 3 wide. It looked like on the start. None of that happened, but here comes Michael DeGroat in the 90. First time we've seen him battling for the lead on the outside.
2x2x2 up front. Gary Champion looking for a way around to these guys. Not going to happen. He's going to try to push the 90 up towards the front of this thing.
Here we come down the back straightaway. DeGroat with the 18 of Gary Champion behind him. We have the 25 behind him, Kyle Manger. But the inside line seems to be a lot more tight packed up right now, so that's going to give Flag the advantage with Hedrick and Harrington behind him.
Gary Champion has to watch being on the back bumper of the 90 machine through the corner. Almost contact made. That could have been devastating for the entire field.
Looks like a little bit of a 10-12 car breakaway up, truck breakaway up front. A couple cars behind that. Oh, cars, I keep screwing it up myself. But either way, looks like a couple people trying to stay back to maybe avoid some of the drama. Kyle Manger on the 25, an aggressive move to the bottom there. That bails the top and only leaves 2 drivers up there.
Couple guys making evasive maneuvers, trying not to make contact with one another up front here. Going down to the apron now. They're side by side up towards the front of this thing. The 90 machine trying to get something done, being pushed by, I believe that's Gary Champion.
That it is. Still on this time by, oh, looks like Champion was taking a peek to the middle there. He decided to think better of it. But again,
close, racing over these bumps. These guys gotta be careful.
Once to my note earlier, when you're in the pack in the middle like this, you're almost stuck. You want to make a move, but you can't. The only way you're going to make a move is to go 3 wide, and at Daytona 2007, 3 wide is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, as you can see, these guys all getting spread out.
Oh,
down
Travis
the back
Brown
straightaway.
into the wall. Side drafting the wall, as Evan Black likes to say.
Heavy contact between the 0-1 and, I can't tell what other truck that was. The 57 machine. Oh, Gary Champion up into the wall now. Gary Champion losing positions rapidly. He's got contact with the wall.
What is going on?
Oh my, huge shakeup up front. The 90 machine now your new leader.
That was a hard hit to the wall. What happened there? I gotta check that again in slow-mo, on cockpit cam. Gary Champion's running the top up here. Oh, he hit the right rear of Rod Flag, and that shot him up the track into the wall. No caution, but Champion is going to be out of the pack with significant damage. Back to the front. Now Rod Flag is up top. Still DeGroat on the bottom now. And our lead pack is...
Contact off the corner! The 90 almost gets spun by the 21 machine. Rod Flag gonna use that to his advantage and take the lead on the high side.
Seth DeMerchant in the 57 up here now. First time we've talked about him in the lead pack. But here they come up top. Kyle Manger with a hard move to the bottom here. He has no help down there. And just as I say that, here comes Flag drops to the outside, to the inside.
The field gets completely spread out now, going down the back half of the racetrack now. Rod Flag on the inside, the 57 with front end damage, trying to make something work on the high side. Pushed by the 7, Rod Flag has the 25 behind him on the low side.
Seth DeMerchant, as you said, has the battle on the inside still on his hands now. Rodney Wofford really giving him a hard push up top, but it's only the two of them now. Now it looks like DeMerchant should be able to clear. The question is, does he drop his partner or does he stay up top? Looks like as they enter turn 1, looks like he is going to stay up there, be a loyal partner to Wofford in the 7. That may come into help later in the race when moves become more important, but here we come down the back straightaway still. Looks like we may have a peak for a 3 wide from the 21. He ducks back in the line.
The 21 thought better of it, didn't want to get sucked into the middle of everything. The 7 machine now jumps the low side. He ditches DeMerchant down low. Coming out of turn number 4 now, Rod Flag on with the back bumper. The 7 machine doing a traffic break down from the low side to the high side, and now the 57 going to peak up top once again.
Something I don't know if you guys caught, the 7 was really jumping over the bumps there, kind of moved up about a lane there, really threw him off. That kind of gave the outside the surge it got, but something again to take note for, the bumps on the bottom are really hard. You really have to manage that truck over them.
Seth DeMerchant, I don't know, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to lead a line, but he seems like he's doing a pretty good job of it right now. And even with that front end damage, he's out front right now, and he's your leader. DeMerchant with the lead. The 66 of Amati almost into the wall there. I think he got shoved up to the 3rd group, did a good job keeping it off the wall. But again, here we come. Kyle Manger looks like he's really indecisive on where he wants to be. I think he's going to be the first to go 3 wide. The first 2 guys are single file. Now the 21 machine ducks below DeMerchant. 21 onto the low side, 57 on the high side. They're 2 by 2 by 2 once again.
Glenn Hedrick there, he's able to clear. Is he going to go to the top and try to block DeMerchant? Is he going to stay on the bottom with Wofford? Excuse me. It looks like he will stay with Wofford. But here comes the surge on the outside at the end of the straightaway. DeMerchant with the help of John Amati up there. It looks like he will lose the ground. The outside lot doesn't have that momentum going. Your first 2 will clear the outside lane.
The outside doesn't have the run that it quite needs, and now these guys really shuffling around, bouncing around like ping pong balls throughout the field, and the 13 made a heavy move to the inside.
Through 1 and 2 here. It doesn't look like on the outside lane that DeMerchant's really pulling it what he needs to do. But you can see with the front end damage there, I think that's holding him back. But just as I say that, here comes Hedrick to the outside to block the run. Wofford left by himself. A lot of shuffling going on down the back straightaway.
That caused the outside line to stack up heavily. DeMerchant trying to look on the outside once again. The 21 machine got a big jump, and that'll get the momentum to the 57 on the high side.
A couple people in the back there. The 13, I believe it was, the 13 of DeWisha slid up the track there, almost caused an issue in the middle of the pack, but off of turn 4, you can see these guys really changing lines left and right. Hedrick will take the lead on the outside this time by, but here comes Wofford to the inside and a slow car.
The 21 machine went up to block the high side. Good move by him, and he is all over the place trying to keep the lead through now turns 1 and 2. Coming down to the back half of the racetrack, it's 2 cars out front, then it's 2 by 2 by 2 behind them, almost 3 wide. Car on the apron in front of him.
Amati with a power move to the inside there. He just turned a hard left. It'll put him in now the 2nd position with a run on the 21, but he has nowhere to go with it.
Glenn Hedrick trying his best to hold his momentum out front. He knows which line he's got to block to keep the lead, but DeMerchant slips in on the outside. They're 2 by 2 once again.
Again, pace lap formation. We're just about to approach the halfway point of this race in 2 laps. Excellent driving by these DXT drivers. A big improvement on what we've seen thus far from excellent side-by-side racing on what is a very difficult track. And there goes Hendrick to the top to block the run. That's going to open the door for Amati on the inside line. And again, side-by-side with a new guy in the battle on the inside.
Hendrick doing an awesome job blocking both lanes.
To the outside, to Merchant.
He's going to slip down low, try to block what he thought was going to be a big run by the inside. The inside going to try to give him a push out front.
Down the front straightaway here as we approach the start-finish line to Merchant on the outside. Again, with that beaten front nose there, that may be costing him a little bit as he leads this pack. Here comes Michael DeGroat and behind him to be the new pusher to assist him. And again, some lappers in front here. These guys will have to navigate safely.
The lap car possibly going to the apron.
To the apron. And there's the big one.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
In the middle of the pack. Big wreck. This is the Daytona big one.
Reminiscent of the 2001 500 there. That was the big one, and it was all caused by people reacting to the slower car there. We'll go back here on replay and see the best we can to analyze this.
The 90 machine going for a wild ride down the back straightaway, flipping over the entire field up against the outside wall. The air got underneath the truck. He got hit once again. That sent him up into the air. Big wreck. The entire first hack involved.
It looks like the 21 got the yellow line off a 2, and that kind of got him loose to the inside. And eventually everyone just kind of scattered different ways. Looks like everyone was just kind of scared for the lapper and just maybe not focusing quite on their lines perhaps, but regardless, it'll put us behind the iRacing.com pace car. DeMerchant with the damaged vehicle, who will perhaps have a chance to fix some of that damage. And this will be 15 laps into the run, so we were about halfway through a fuel run and a little bit past the halfway point in this race. In case you're curious, on the timer, we're at 50 minutes left, so 45 laps to go, 50 minutes, barring about 3 or 4 more cautions. I think we will go the full distance today. Here they come down pit lane. We do expect just about everybody at this point with the damaged vehicles in for fuel and such. The Merchant missed his stall there, so he's going to automatically lose a ton of time. Rod Flag wins the race off pit lane. So while we wait out this pace lap, well, these couple pace laps, we'll take you to another commercial break, so stay with us.
I enjoy going back to race them whenever I can. I get to run, about 20 to 25 dirt races a year and try and, put on a show every time I'm there.
Battle for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside of Shane Stewart. Slide job, no. Larson unable to complete the pass. He'll follow Shane Stewart down the back straightaway. Stewart makes the move to the inside of Craig Kinsler. Kyle Larson goes around the outside out of turn 4. You've got a new race leader. Kyle Larson from 9th leads on lap number 23.
I'm probably just a little more relaxed, I guess, at the dirt track just because it's for fun, where the NASCAR stuff, it's points racing and a lot bigger sponsors and stuff you have to please and all that. You're there for 3 days a week, so your approach is a little bit different there. Where sprint cars, you're there for 5 or 6 hours and moving on to the next racetrack. So I've been on iRacing, I think, since 2009 or 10. Yeah, I remember, starting out, I mean, as a rookie on there, in the Legends and the late models and stuff like that. And that was fun to, have to try and get your licenses up and stuff. But it's amazing to me how, now that I get to race on a lot of the tracks that are on there, how to the T, similar because of the laser scanning and stuff like that. So all the bumps and all the visual aspects of it are very good. So when I first got to like K&N and then the Nationwide Series at the time, I would race iRacing all the time to learn as much as I could about the racetrack before I went to the actual racetrack to race. So to me, it's just for fun now. So I enjoy going on there. Actually, I don't enjoy going on there all the time because I don't win a lot. So it's frustrating to see myself struggle to run top 10 in an Xfinity race or something like that and get beat by Logan Seavey every time I run a sprint car. So the level of competition on iRacing is better than real life. I mean, you've got thousands of drivers on there that, a lot of them are probably better than the people you see on TV. They just haven't had the opportunities to make it, but can kick butt on there and you can spend all day long running thousands of laps a day, so you can get yourself, really good at it. So competition level is just unbelievable, really, on there. I mean, everybody's been asking for dirt on there for forever. So when they announced it, I got really, really excited. And honestly, it's blown my expectations away. The cars, to me, drive really good when the track's hooked up. The visual part of the racetrack changing is amazing. How you can run some laps and see it start to get shiny, and then you feel it getting slick. Areas of the racetrack getting dirty, and then you get some cars run through there and it cleans off and gets grip back. It's nuts. The tear-off feature is really cool. Watching the wing move backwards and forwards. I run with the virtual reality headset too, so being able to look down and see everything, it looks extremely realistic. So yeah, it blew my expectations away. And it's only gonna get better, really.
And we're back here on PTRTV, but will be another restart this time by Rod Flag to the inside. He now has Ricky Wall to the outside on this restart. I haven't talked too much about him recently, but see what can happen. We've seen a bunch of wrecks so far, not as many as we have seen, which is a positive thing, but still a bunch of wrecked vehicles later in the pack. But the ready guys up front are clean and green and ready to go. Flag will await the pace car to take the turn into pit lane, and we will get this race going as we approach lap 50. Pace car is in, and green flag is in the air. Flag is on the loud pedal. He has Travis Brown, and the outside has Ricky Wall and Kevin Spencer, and the outside did not have the run that time.
Yeah, the outside definitely did not get the restart they wanted to. Flag is going to clear him going into turn 1.
That they will. It looks like the top 3 may clear at least.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
66, John Amati. And looks like I don't see too much other carnage, so
13 Dewisha.
Go back on replay and see what we can find out. Oh, looks like the 13 was on the bottom there, on the apron nearly.
Well, he used it in that 360 and got it going.
Oh, Amati broke. Well, he was in the middle and turned to the left there. Did not realize that the 13 was going to be in that area. And eventually that just kind of did him in a little loop, but nothing overly significant in the damage department. So he should be okay there, I believe.
Yeah, he's only got that little bit of left for damage.
So we await to catch up to the pace car. And we will be under caution yet again here today. This makes the 4th caution here only, which again is four more than we'd like, but I will say there's definitely been an improvement in this race from everybody else, from the other races we have seen. A lot of good aggressive racing, especially on a really difficult track here at Daytona. Don't expect any pit stops this time by, as everyone was just in. Obviously, probably just the people who pitted prior will be on pit lane. While the people who are involved in the incident, maybe people just want to top off for what could be a fuel run to the end. Never know. From this standpoint on, if it was to go green, I don't know if many of us are expecting that, but if it was to go green, 40 laps to go, it would be a pretty simple one-stop race, but you never know when the caution's going to fly. The caution could throw at that extremely inadvertent time, and it could actually make this, if it comes out, let's say, with 27 to go, and we go green from the rest of there, it could turn into a pit stop, well, caution, I mean.
Stop race?
Yeah, pit stop race. You know, pit stop race, fuel mileage race. Gonna give you a little bit of a field rundown right now. We have Rod Flagg as your leader. Travis Brown is in 2nd. Joseph Garinge in the 3rd spot. And then Ricky Wall and Kevin Spencer round out the top 5. Joey Piccola, Seth DeMerchant, Caleb Weekly, Brian Mullen, and TJ Buck are your top 10 right now. Going to do the top 20 for you. We have Sean McGarrick, Rodney Wofford, Kyle Manger, Nicholas Schmeg, Lucas Cram, Glenn Hedrick, remember he was just leading this race for quite a while, then Richard Reagan Jr., Corey Smith, Daniel Jackson, and Mike Schultz are the top 20. Still 30 drivers on the track right now. We started 35. Actually, I take that back. 29 drivers on the track. We started 35, so we've only lost 6 thus far.
It's still pretty good for 50 some laps in.
Yeah. We'll have at least one more pace lap after this.
I apologize. I have returned.
You were missed, I think. You missed a restart and a wreck before we were up to speed, so not too much has changed.
Alright, yep. I do apologize. My throat is absolutely killing me tonight, and had I not gotten something for it, I would not have had a voice by the end of the night.
Which is not usually the ideal scenario.
No, not really.
Having a voice when you have a talking job usually is a beneficial thing.
Yep. Yeah, that would help.
I don't even know if I want to ask you to do the sponsor plug if you're struggling for air right now.
No, I am all set.
So shall we carry on?
Yeah. Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with PTRTV. Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. from local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Other partners on the channel include iBog.co. Great job with overlay graphics. He did art for the channel, and we absolutely love them. And Tabor Web Design, he designed our website, PrimetimeRacingTV.com. Go check it out.
Yep, and just want to quickly reference iBog. I mean, I know we mentioned earlier we were having some overlay issues. Those were not because of iBog.co. Those were because of some guy who thought he was really good and can do fancy stuff and kind of broke it, but I was able to fix it.
That's some guy being Corey, by the way.
It's a little saying, once you teach a guy to fish, give a guy a fish, feed him for a day, teach him to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Jason taught me how to do a lot of fancy stuff, and you're going to screw it up before you succeed at it, so. But we're good now. Yeah, give a guy a fish, feed him for a day, feed a guy a fish, whatever, I think I said it right the first time.
Feed a guy a fish, feed him for life, is that does sound right.
Give him a fish, feed him for a day, feed it.
Teach him how to fish, feed him for life.
Yes, that.
So once again, these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back green flag racing here. Rod Flag out front of this thing behind the iRacing.com pace car. And the pace car getting ready to make a hard left turn into pit road once again.
And once the pace car does dive in, we will get the green flag within a second. And there it is, green flag in the air. Rod Flag gets this race underway for yet another time, and he will not have any help on the inside. The 89 has left quite a gap.
2 by 2 by 2 right now to the outside, not getting formed up either. These guys are going to be even going down into turn number 1. A lot of shuffling going on in the back of the pack. Couple of guys hitting the apron. Everyone goes away clean and green. Now these two lines starting to get formed up. The outside line getting formed up a little bit better. They'll have a run down the back straightaway.
Goringe in the 89 really trying to work his hardest to give Rod Flag the push, but the inside really needs the help from Kevin Spencer in the 96, but he's not quite there yet. The outside has the 4-on-2 edge, but just as I say that, here goes the 22 of Piccola dropping to the bottom.
Rod Flag jumps up to the high side, try to stop their momentum. The 89 is going to try to slip down underneath. The 10 machine drops down back low once again. A traffic break down the trial.
Goringe, I don't know if he was peeking for air or going for a 3 wide, but he kind of made a little bit of a dangerous looking move there, but everything did fare out fine. He ducked back into line, and the outside has kind of lost its mojo here. Travis Brown trying to get it going here with the 2 on the outside. A Ricky Wall behind him. Looks like they are getting some more help up there as 2 guys later in the pack move up to the top.
Yeah, I was going to say the inside line has more of the trucks than the outside does, but the outside starting to get its thing back now, and the 0-1's going to try to lead them around, try to become even with the inside, rather.
And there goes the 10 of Flag to go block the outside now. Now he's blocking both ends of the freeway here. Ricky Wall on the 2 trying to make a third line.
Behind them. Up into the outside wall goes 1 truck. These guys scrambling 3 by 3 by 3. Rod Flag gets turned. They're wrecking down in turn number 1.
That was the slowest forming wreck I've ever seen, but eventually we did get going. It all kind of started with what was that 3 wide.
Another huge hit out of the 22 machine. I don't know who hit him.
It all started with that 3 wide. It kind of got everyone kind of discombobulated there, if you will, entering 1, and we never really recovered from it. Kind of show you here from our top view, the 01 of Brown trying to make a 3 wide there. It wasn't enough room. That turned Rod Flag, and then everyone's kind of bunched together on the bottom there. Then further in the pack there, you see DeMerchant, you see TJ Buck, Amadi. You saw the 22 rolling around, the 17. Everyone was just kind of, it was a parked junkyard there off of 2. So we were talking earlier, if you remember, as there's a smoke show in the back straightaway, could barely see the pace car except for the flashing lights. There it is. We were talking earlier about how this race was on a pretty good pace to finish on laps. As we know, the Sunday night races here are on a timer, a 1 hour and 40 minute timer at that. we were on a good pace to achieve that, well, to beat the timer and run it on laps. Right now, there is 33 minutes left on the timer, and there are 32 coming to 31 laps in the race. So I'm gonna go with about 2 to 3 more cautions, and we will be under the timer again. Because you have to imagine each lap under caution is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which essentially each caution kills about 8 to 10 minutes of time, which will eat away very quickly at that timer. Now, we don't always like the races ending on the timer. It does cause a little bit of confusion, so we will do our best to make sure that we'll let you know as much as we know what's going on. But if you remember a couple weeks ago, actually it may have been last week, I don't quite remember, the race had the white flag come out on the back straightaway, and the drivers knew they had 2 turns to race from the white to the checkers, so sometimes it catches us all off guard.
And I believe the 50 machine just blew his engine trying to come around to the pace car. So that may end his night. A couple guys taking the wave around now.
Yeah, you saw him stopped off turn 2 there, had to call for the tow truck because he had no power.
I think he was taking the wave around and blew his engine coming around the field, so unfortunate break for him. He did have a lot of front end damage, so it really isn't much of a surprise that it happened. Good timing, I guess.
You can see our leader right now is scored as Travis Brown in the 0-1. You can see the left rear damage he has on that Toyota Tundra machine right there, and not quite enough to really cause any kind of serious concern, but as someone kind of wrote in chat, there's not many clean trucks left in the race right now. Kind of looks like we just left Bristol.
Even your leader has a little bit of rear end damage on the left corner of his truck.
That's what I was referring to. That's funny. See the damage we have to the leader. Oh, the leader has some damage.
Sorry, I am very sick.
No, I know.
Trying to hang in there.
You're doing a good job, Brandon. We just have to pull your leg because what else are we good for? But for those who were not here in the beginning of the broadcast, I will take this opportunity to give you another bite of what happened on Wednesday night. So let's take another round to look at the wrap-up from Wednesday night's broadcast. Well, Wednesday night's race, rather. And we're back here on Primetime Racing TV. Hope you enjoyed that little highlight reel of Wednesday night. Obviously, we don't bring you Wednesday nights because we're occupied giving you the Hardline Racing League, but we'll try to give you a little recap of what goes on every Sunday for what happened on Wednesday night. If I sounded that sensibly, said that sensibly, blah. Someone else talk. Sensibly. Well, when your other commentators are having technical and illness issues, it makes me talk more in my brain.
His brain can't handle it.
It's really hard on him when Brandon's having issues and I'm having internet issues.
Pace car ready to pull off into
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air once again. These guys are on the loud pedal.
The 0-1 of Travis Brown leading the inside line. He has Kevin Spencer helping him down there. On the outside, we have Ricky Wall and Glenn Hedrick. Don't quite have the head of steam yet, but they'll likely have it off turn 2.
0-1 holding a solid lead on the bottom. The outside line not quite formed up enough to get anything done, but a huge push down the back straightaway for the 21.
Yeah, Wall's going to clear him, maybe, but I don't know if he's going to leave his partner out there.
The 0-1 closes the gap onto the inside once again down through turns 3 and 4. The 96 loses a little bit of momentum over one of the bumps. The outside using the tandem draft a little bit. The 21 hooked to the back bumper.
Lap 62 in the books. We're only 27, 28 laps to go in this race. You can really see the guys are still making aggressive moves when they change lanes. Really makes me nervous. Off of turn 2 here, you can still, oh, Travis Brown hooked the yellow line there. He's going to go down to the apron, lose a bunch of spots and momentum.
21 of Hedrick's going for the lead. He ducked down under the 2 of Ricky Wall, and he's going to try and get the lead.
He doesn't have any help there, so he needs to clear. He's going to try to move his way up the track in front of the 2. Not quite going to work. The 2 of Ricky Wall is going to have the momentum on the outside from John Amati in the 66 and give Ricky Wall the lead.
Hedrick tried his best. He just, over the contact there, he tried his best. He just didn't have the help or momentum.
I don't know if that was an intended side draft or just perhaps not spatially aware of what's going on, but that was a body slam there in the tri-oval. Everyone makes it through okay, but now Glenn Hedrick in the 21 has the lead. Kevin Spencer behind him.
Yeah, he's cleared Wall. Will he go up there to block?
There he goes. Trying to block. Oh, and there we go, into the wall. Glenn Hedrick.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Goes the 21 barrel rolling into turn number 3.
Kevin Spencer upside down the whole length of the back straightaway. Just as I was talking, guys, we were talking about how people are aggressively changing lanes, and it was only a matter of time before something happened. You can only change lanes and cut people off so much before it's gonna stack up the field like it just did again.
Yeah, the 21 of Hedrick just tried to do a bit of a block, and
it looked like the 2, instead of getting back into line there, he was trying to almost take a peek to the outside, and that kind of hooked the 21 in the right rear.
Yeah, he got to the bumper of the 21 and then just got a push from behind, and that shoved him into his right rear.
So still 25 laps to go in the race, folks, and these guys are really racing like it's the white flag. It's nothing that we're not expecting. We've seen it quite a lot in this Sunday night series we bring you. Just as reference, the timer ticks away at less than 24 minutes right now, so I'm leaning towards the direction of this race ending on a timer.
It's going to be close. If they can't go green to the end, it's going to be close.
We have at least 3 more laps of caution, so that should eat up another 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes of that timer. So I expect to go green with about 20 laps to go, with only about 15 minutes left on the timer. So as you said, it'll be close under green, but one more caution. It's definitely going to be a timer race. But majority of the field comes down pit lane. A couple drivers stay out. Seth the Merchant and Rod flags the next car behind for position.
And one of our drivers and part-time announcer here, Cole Borgstad's gonna join us in the booth here for the remainder of this race.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good, Cole. So obviously you were in this race, so we didn't really get to talk about you too much. So how was your experience like, and what overall was it like out there tonight?
Well, the best I can describe is about feeling like getting bucked around by a bull.
Yeah, whenever we talked about Cole, it was about him getting wrecked.
Yeah, unfortunate break for Cole tonight, but he's going to join us for the rest of this thing, so he's not bored out of his mind, and obviously he is a part-time announcer for us, so good to have him back.
Thank you.
Not under the conditions you'd necessarily like to be in, but what we just called out with that last yellow, well, with that last wreck, and a lot of times before, that looks like these guys, when they change lanes or they're clear, it looks like the moves have been really quick, like they're making really aggressive lane changes. Did you see that in the time you were out there?
Oh yeah, it was happening all up in front of me, and I mean, it just, like, from my perspective, it looked like there was no room, and then all of a sudden, they just shot down.
A lot of chopping the nose off, a lot of drivers just, you see the door, and it's only open for a split second, but you're trying to make it happen in that split second. It's caused a bunch of cautions so far, and I don't really see that problem alleviating as this race comes to a close.
It's definitely tricky on this track with these trucks I've seen, is that when you're going through them bumps real hard and you're losing speed, but you're gaining speed because you're still in the draft, and it was just all over the place at all times.
Yeah, you're holding a steady wheel, but that truck is not gonna maintain a steady wheel. It's not gonna maintain a steady line because you're gonna have to be sawing at the wheel to hold a steady line through the bumps, and one screw up, you're going to shift up a lane and get into somebody.
Oh yeah, I think there was once, I think it was on one of the restarts or something, the 0-1 I think ran up the wall, and then shortly after him going into 3, I ran down the wall because of the speed slowing, and then somebody forced the button 3 wide.
So at this juncture in the race, there's 23 laps to go. I don't expect, based on what I'm seeing here with pit stops, I think everyone should be clear to finish this race under green, well, under fuel load at the moment. So that is one dynamic taken out of it.
So, lights are out on the pace car. These guys getting doubled up and stacked up and ready to go racing.
The intensity was already pretty high. We saw obviously tight side-by-side racing for what usually was about a 12 truck lead pack. And now everyone is lined back up, and just as reference, we still have about 26 drivers, 25 drivers approximately in the race. And there are still, I believe, to be 17 drivers officially on the lead lap.
So Corey, with how much time we have left, do you think if we get green we can make it on time?
Well, we mentioned at the beginning of the yellow. Let's get a check now. The timer will be at about 18 minutes at the start finish when we get back going. That should... well, it will be enough under green, no doubt. But if we do have a single
caution, I kind of think it's
a single close yellow, and factually we will be about 2 to 3 laps short, but we can make it green from here.
Oh, let's hope we make it green.
car getting ready to pull into pit road once again here. 57 out in front of this thing. Seth the Merchant still looks like he's got a little bit of damage to the side of his vehicle.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is in the air once again, and the inside and the outside get almost an equal start.
That was something we have not seen yet so far today. The outside usually has been at a serious disadvantage, but Wofford was ready to go that time by. The Merchants to the inside, and here we go.
Big wreck one.
No caution.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
We weren't even up to speed.
Are you kidding me?
We were not even up to speed and we're wrecking.
Unbelievable.
Again, we've said this a couple times in our broadcast, and it's not our job as commentators to kind of start drama, but come on, guys, we got to get up to speed.
And I think it's that these guys, they just don't have enough patience. They're trying to bump and shove through the corners, or in this case, trying to move into a gap that just wasn't there, and it just causes a big mess, and the rest of the field gets taken out.
Yeah, there's still 20 laps to go. These guys just need to have some more patience.
On board here. Looks like Wofford was on the outside, and I can't really tell if it was the 66 that came up or the 7 that came down, but regardless, we don't really need to be pinching each other that close at that point. So us announcers will take this opportunity to go to caution, kind of calm our own nerves and get back ready for the restart with a calmer mindset. So we will catch you in a minute or two. Stay with us.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with them one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. Well, that was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing.
Welcome back, race fans. These guys are once again stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back green flag racing. Hopefully they can hold a steady pace from this point forward. They have only got about 10 minutes to finish this race, and I think it's safe to say now that this will end under the timer.
Yep.
Yeah, they have 10 minutes to do about 17 laps. That's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, about 46 seconds a lap in the draft approximately. I think we'll probably get about 14 of them done, 13 maybe. But regardless, in the ticker, as you guys have noticed, has been 90. You will know exactly how many laps we do have left, at least scheduled anyways. But we will reference the timer because we don't know when the white flag will come out. It surprised us last week. It very well may do so today. But we do have the 66 of John Amati on the inside. We have Rodney Wofford to the outside. We wait for the pace car to go in. There it goes, and the green flag is in the air. And where is the inside line right now? Where's the outside line?
Is off in La La Land somewhere. They're not getting formed up at all on this restart, and the outside line is going to have the advantage. The 7 gets a huge shove going into turn number 1.
Wofford with the aggressive move to the inside here. He'll drop the 25 of Manger by himself there. A little bit of risky moving back there. People hit the apron, move back up, but Kyle Manger is dropping right to the back. And here we go again.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
52 machine.
Sean
Another
McCarrick.
Huge wreck. You've got to be kidding me.
Again, we're not even up to speed yet, guys. This is, I'm sorry. This is really aggravating me, and I know I'm not supposed to put bias into it, but this is really frustrating.
I agree.
We're not even up to speed yet, and we can't even get off the back straightaway.
Believe me, guys, it's not the way that the league is run. It's the drivers trying to be way, way too aggressive.
If you were in the Facebook drivers league or the drivers room, we can see there's penalties handed out every week. League admin are doing their best, but ultimately the drivers have to put their heads on their shoulders and just realize you can't do some of this stuff. So this should give us a green-white checker, give or take. Yellows take about 5 minutes off the timer. It'll give us about 3-ish minutes left in the race.
Probably 4 or 5 laps to go.
Give or take, and maybe we'll even get to the back straightaway before the next caution comes out.
We can hope. One more caution will end this race, most likely.
Again, and I just want to reiterate, because I almost feel like we're not being overly professional right here. We have covered a lot of races, and not all of them are going to go peachy, green flag the whole way. It's inevitable, but it does get frustrating in the booth when we're having to kill 10 minutes at a time behind the pace car, so... We will try to hold our emotions back and cover what will be the last 2 to 3 minutes a little more positively than we are, but you know, on-track racing has to support that. Ellipsis, ellipsis, ellipsis. This thing on?
Yes.
Corey was leaving some sort of topic conversation open, and I wasn't paying attention at all.
Neither was I was listening to driver chat.
Corey was on a rant about racing and getting frustrated in the booth and how we may be a little unprofessional sounding, but it is just due to frustration.
I don't think we're unprofessional sounding. I think that's what brings the personality. You know, obviously we call it as we see it, and that's what we're supposed to do. And that's what they bring us on for, and again, it is not the way that the league is run at all. This is a good league, the admins in here are good, the drivers, and no offense to anyone in this league, are trying to drive over their heads. They're trying to push the trucks into gaps where there is no room, and they're trying to push too hard and gain too many positions at once, and it's just causing wrecks. Yeah. That's all that happens. If these guys would calm down, it would work in their favor. It really would.
We're all race fans. Ultimately, that's why we are in the booth here watching these races. That's why we're on iRacing. iRacing is not the cheapest way to get into sim racing. I mean, we could go buy Forza on Xbox. We could go buy NASCAR Heat 2. But we choose to do the real thing. We want to be as realistic and lifelike as possible. We really have this enthusiasm for sim racing. And we want to see racing. That's what we're here for. I don't sit in front of my computer watching people race because I like it. That's why I do it. I like to watch racing, and sitting behind a pace car is, that's not racing. It's not what any of us want, but we ramble on here, and we have at least another 6 minutes of pacing going on.
So one thing I did hear earlier that actually I got a kick out of was they were talking in the driver chat before the race started and on the beginning pace laps, and they were like, well, what's, some people were trying to find the broadcast, and they were like, well, what's it on? Somebody was like, oh, it was on Primetime Pacing TV, and I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I saw one Primetime Wrecking.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't think those are people that are digging us as a channel. I mean, that's just, I mean, that's kind of a joke. I actually think that's kind of funny myself.
I do too.
I think it's more of a joke towards the league than us.
And from what I remember, it was aimed at a couple of drivers, which I'm not going to say the names of, but I did get a kick out of that, I will admit.
Corey, I know you were a little worried about talking, or about stating your opinion, but someone in the chat is saying that you said what was needed to be said.
Yep.
Yeah, and I agree with Corey 100% on that topic.
Me too.
You know, it is what it is. You know, I think, personally, I think if there was stronger penalties handed out week after week, these drivers would be a little bit more careful. And
ultimately, as us as broadcasters, we can only be as good as what we cover. So, I mean, in the sense of like kind of, you know, like joking about the channel and stuff, like some of me gets worried, well, I don't want people to think negatively about Primetime, but I mean, we can only be as good as what the racing is. If we're covering behind the pace car the whole time, it's almost kind of a reflection on the channels too. So we want to be as good as we can. We need this racing to be good. The league needs the racing to be good for their sake. We need to put on some good racing on as our sake as a YouTube channel. So
absolutely,
this doesn't help any of us. So, but let's get back to it. The rant is over. Hashtag end rant. We will go green with 2 minutes left, which
Probably around 2 laps.
2 to 3 laps of green flag racing. I mean, we might
Hopefully
go,
they can go that long.
we might go 50 feet. We might go 3 laps. So we'll find out together here on PTRTV. Primetime Wrecking TV. Primetime. What do we call it?
Pacing TV.
Pace time Wrecking TV. How about that one?
Pace time wrecking.
Pace time rolling.
Pace time rolling TV.
Because people have been rolling today, so.
Quite a few.
Pace time ranting TV. I mean, that's pretty accurate right now. We want to stick with that one.
Yeah, we can just go
Pace
that
time
one.
ranting TV. All right, someone with enthusiasm and positivity. Want to take this restart down?
Yeah.
Wait,
real quick,
do we have one of those? Carry on, Brandon.
This week, I would like to point out that I missed this first week of weekly review, the first episode, but it will be coming out this next Saturday. The weekly review, catch that at around noon time. But the pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn into pit road once again. Only about 2 minutes left on the clock. Green flag in the air. The outside line gets an awesome restart.
John Amati has the push from Seth DeMerchant in the 57. Rodney Wofford on the inside with Ricky Wall. John Amati is going to have the push. He's going to be able to clear. Expect him to drop to the bottom. There he goes. Now DeMerchant's by himself. They're up top waiting for the 46 to get him of Richard Reagan.
66 out front of this thing now, and these guys getting somewhat spread out. 66 was thinking about pulling a traffic break there, and the 57 of DeMerchant up on the high side now.
There it goes. That's the race.
No caution.
That's the race.
Once again.
We will go to a commercial break, folks, and we will be back for post-race interviews. So again, please stay with us.
This is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars.
We're back here, folks, on PTRTV, and I don't know what was going on under the caution there, but, yeah, that was a thing. So, let's, bring in your race winner. I believe he's the only one that we got in here in the top 3-4 race interviews. Coming home with the checkers tonight, the 66 machine, John Amati. John, you got a copy?
Yeah.
So, you come home with a win here tonight, and, tough race. You had some really good green flag runs at the beginning of this thing, and then the ends really seemed to fall apart. So, how did the race go for you, and did you think you would be able to pull off the win tonight?
I mean, I think I was doing pretty well all race. I just couldn't stop getting wrecked.
Apparently, you still can't stop getting wrecked.
Yeah. So, yeah. A lot of cautions at the end of this thing, and with all those restarts, you knew it was going to be key to get the jumps on the restarts, I'm sure, and did you think you'd be able to hold all those guys off at the end?
Honestly, I didn't, because I had a tiny bit of damage, but I want to thank Seth the Merchant for pushing me to the lead there, and also my teammate Kevin Spencer.
Alright, well, once again, you come home with the win tonight. Is there anyone else that you'd like to give a shout out to?
My teammate, I don't know, he helped me every single race, and yeah, it's also my birthday, I don't know.
Well, happy birthday to you, and good birthday present here, winning in the SuperSpeedway DXT series tonight.
Thank you.
Alright, so that is your race winner, John Amati. He's the only one we do have available to interview tonight. So we're going to wrap the broadcast up with the finishing results here at Talladega. Oh, at Talladega. I don't even know what track it is right now.
Daytona 07.
That. We're going to wrap up the coverage with results from that track. John Amati is the winner. Seth the Merchant is in the second position. Rodney Wofford in third, Richard Reagan fourth, Ricky Wall fifth, and Rod Flagg, Kevin Spencer, Mike Schultz, Andrew Sanders, and Kyle Manger, the top 10.
Corey Smith in 11th, Dan Harrington in 12th, Daniel Jackson in 13th, Joseph Gorange in 14th, Sean McCarrick in 15th, and then Caleb Weekly, Hayden Irely, Mark Emery, Michael DeGroat, and Joey Picalella rounding out the top 20.
21st is Glenn Hendrick, then
Hedrick.
Hedrick. That is Joseph Dawasha, Travis Brown, Cole Borgstadt, Brian Mullen, Nicholas Schmeg, Lucas Krim, TJ Buck, Matt Spalding, Spencer Preet, J.R. Hager, Gary Champion, Casey Drake, Paul Simpson Payne, and Chris Pazzini, my apologies, rounding out the field in the 35th position. Quick shout out to our sponsors here tonight, Air Movement Fabrications, Lonicam's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Other partners include iBog.co Overlay Graphics and Tabor Web Design, PrimetimeRacingTV.com to see his work.
So that's a broadcast here on Primetime Racing TV. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. We'd much appreciate if you did. Growing the channel, trying to get a special going once we hit our next milestone of 300. Catch us tomorrow night with the Cyber Racing Association. We will bring you them with some racing, and then we have racing for the majority of the week here. So again, signing out in the booth is Corey Silva, Evan Black, Brandon Krutz, and we had our Cole Borgstadt special commentating with us tonight. So again, have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night.
See you next time.